Welcome back, everybody. This is Eric here with Iraq Veteran 8888. Today we're going to be going over ultrasonic cleaners, and we're going to talk about things you need to know about them. And look, guys, if you're into gunsmithing, you should definitely check out Sonoran Desert Institute. They're a great bunch of people. They've got great online gunsmithing courses. I know some of you guys have unused GI Bill. There you go. That's definitely an option for some of you. We're going to talk a little bit about ultrasonics and, some pros and cons, okay? So what is an ultrasonic cleaner? What does it do? So an ultrasonic, basically, you have heated water and some type of a cleaning solution that gets put into this vat, and then a motor in here basically vibrates the overall vessel at a very, very high frequency, and it breaks up dirt, particulates. It cleans every single thing off of anything you put into it, and it does it by way of physical moving of the water, an ultrasonic wave that is put through the water that makes it have these vibrations that break up dirt, okay? This particular one is a Lyman Power Pro. This is their largest unit that Lyman makes. There's a lot of different ultrasonics out there, and they come in a lot of different shapes and forms, okay? You can get all the way down to some of the smaller units that are $300 or $400. Some of them are as cheap as a few $100s, depending on what you buy. If you're a military level armorer and you're doing a lot of high-end stuff, the Crest machines are great if you're doing a lot of physical bulk going through your armory. For most of us, you get down into like the Power Pro. This is a nice medium duty machine. I would say definitely for like the weekend warrior type, or even the small police armor. If you have a small police station and you don't have a lot of officers and you need to have a ultrasonic that can be used to clean, like, let's just say 30 or 40 guns at a time or something, this is definitely a medium use machine that can serve your purpose quite well. Ultrasonics do save you a lot of time. There are some pros and cons to using an ultrasonic. One, you have to be careful what solutions you put in them. The wrong solution and enough time and heat, and let's say you set the ultrasonic and you turn it on and forget about it, they can peel paint off of certain guns. They can knock finishes off. They can even strip anodizing. They can get into your anodizing. They can, ruin polymer depending on the solution you use. So you definitely want to be careful what you put in your ultrasonic. I've done a lot of experimenting with different fluids in terms of what can go in an ultrasonic, and I found the best product to use is Simple Green. Okay, and there's a couple of different types of Simple Green. You have the regular old Simple Green you can buy at the store, which is fine, the green stuff and the green label. You have this Extreme Simple Green. I like using the Extreme because this is a commercial grade Simple Green. It's a little bit more expensive, but it doesn't take nearly as much. So right now I have not even put water in my Sonic. I just want to show you. I'm going to show you about how much I add to this. And it's crazy how much this stuff just takes carbon right off of your parts. We're going to add about that much, okay? And when we look at the label here, it shows a 1-to-1 ratio, which would be half water, half product, would be for heavily soiled aircraft leading edges, blow-by, belly oil, wax remover, and as a soak to remove gasket adhesive. So we're not getting into that crazy of a territory, but this stuff can be diluted down to levels where it's even safe to use on glass and things like that. And Simple Green is also very friendly to the environment. It is not harmful to the environment, which, we got to be environmentally friendly, right? So fluids, you want to be careful with solvents. Don't get too crazy using solvents. I would not recommend any solvents to be used in an ultrasonic. If you had maybe a dedicated ultrasonic that you want to put solvents in, you could probably get away with that if you want. Some people have like a part soak where they put things in there to really do some aggressive cleaning. Just bear in mind that the same things apply with solvents that would apply any other time. Just because it's in a Sonic doesn't mean you get to cheat the rules of solvents. You obviously want to be careful how long you leave solvents setting on certain items. You want to avoid solvents on certain polymers. All of that stuff, wood and everything, obviously comes into play. So one of the pros of ultrasonics is that given the correct fluids and a little bit of time and know-how, you can clean just about anything in a relatively quick cycle. This particular Power Pro can be set up for all the way up to 175 degrees on the heat. I like to keep mine around 100 degrees. That way, I'm really relying on more time. You can increase the heat, but as you increase that heat, obviously you want to be careful because the solution will sort of evaporate off quickly if you're not careful. There is a lid, obviously, for this ultrasonic. And then you have the timer that can be set. You can set it to always on, or you can set it for up to a 20-minute session. Most handguns, like say your Glock is pretty dirty and you want to throw it in here and clean it. You can pull your Glock apart, throw it in here, set it to 20 minutes and 100 degrees, and it's probably going to come out hot to trot and good to go. All right, and very, very little effort required on your part other than re-oiling. Now, all right, so what are some of the cons of ultrasonics? Why would you not want to use ultrasonic? Well, for one, full disassembly is most certainly required on your firearm if you're going to put it in ultrasonic. You generally want to take down the gun to the smallest piece that you possibly can that you feel comfortable with to ultrasonic it, and it's going to really get in there and clean it. Now you can also take a Glock frame and without even pulling the trigger mech or springs or nothing out, you can throw the frame in there on the ultrasonic and you're good to go. If you get it hot enough, the water hot enough, when you pull it out and blow it off with the air nozzle, if there's enough residual heat from just the heat of the water in the solution, it'll generally dry right off. Okay, now that's one little trick that you can use. I would suggest fully disassembling any firearm you put in a sonic, but it does require complete and detailed disassembly to get the most out of your ultrasonic. Two, okay, one of the minor cons, okay, now let's say that your Glock is not necessarily super dirty. We're just going to use a Glock as an example. You pull your Glock out and let's just say you're going to do a routine cleaning. You want to just rod the bore, make sure there's no dust bunnies from your holster, that sort of thing. Maybe just re-lubricate, check for function, not a full detailed cleaning. This is a detailed cleaning. So if you took your firearm apart and put it in ultrasonic, you are then going to need to reapply every lubricant, if you run in a special grease, or if you're running Geisley Go Juice, if you're running whatever your favorite snake oil is in terms of protecting your firearm, all of that on the entire gun will have to be reapplied. And we're talking all the way up to like LPS3. If you use like a wax-based protectant that is, like the instructions on the Simple Green said, it's made for removing aircraft wax. So again, it'll remove even the most stubborn oil on any gun. So ultrasonics are great if you're doing refinishing work, all right? Oftentimes, a piece that needs to be refinished will be given a bath, a special bath, to remove every bit of oil prior to it being blasted. You obviously don't want finish being knocked off in a blasting cabinet that has oil and crap all over it, and then you're getting that oil and all those contaminants introduced into your blasting cabinet. So refinishing, you would want to get all of the oil off of the piece that you're going to be blasting off prior to whether it's Parkerizing, Cerakote, Duracoat, what have you. So refinishers can use ultrasonics for that purpose. So it's really a complete cleaning type of option. It's not a routine cleaning sort of thing. In my opinion, an ultrasonic may not be merited for somebody that just wants to do a quick press check with their gun in terms of making sure there's no dust bunnies in the barrel and just making sure that it's up to snuff to put back in your holster and go about your day. We're talking thousands of rounds, heavy carbon buildup, bits of brass shavings all over the gun. I mean, we're talking thousands of rounds. These things can be very indispensable in making sure that you can get your guns cleaned in a timely manner. And if you run machine guns a lot, I mean, this is an MP5 and it's been rode a lot. Also suppressors. We see that we have a suppressor on the end of this. Ultrasonics are great for cleaning suppressors. You get the suppressor apart, drop it in there with a good solution. You should be seeing some shots of this sonic at work. It will quickly begin to break down lots of stuff as soon as you throw it in there. Okay, so those are some pros and cons of ultrasonics. The cost on them can vary all the way from as cheap as $200 all the way up to several $1,000s depending on what you want to spend. So as a con, I suppose, would be that an ultrasonic may not necessarily be for everybody because they do represent a bit of a cost. I have heard of some friends of mine, getting together, maybe 5 or 6 people, everybody invest a few $100 or something and invest in an ultrasonic and then just have like a day out of every month where, all right, we got all our dirty guns, let's get together, we'll use the sonic and we'll clean them up. So for mass bulk cleaning efforts, sonics definitely have their use in terms of keeping your guns clean. Ultrasonics are wonderful. We use them quite a bit. They do represent a bit of a cost. Now, you know, now would you take apart, let's just say, an old school bolt action and throw the entire gun in here and clean it? If it's just a bolt gun and all you're really worried about is the bore and maybe under the stock, you know, to prevent any corrosion from occurring? Absolutely. You could certainly, I can't tell you how many times I've taken a Martini Henry apart, or maybe an SKS that was caked in cosmoline, and you can actually use these devices for cosmoline removal. Now, they're going to be pretty skanky in there, but it can really help with getting the cosmoline off of an old milsurp or something. You can also drain the solution out. Let's say I want to drain the water in the Simple Green, and I want to fill it up with some warm water and maybe some Murphy's oil, okay, some Murphy's oil soap. Now that I could use to actually clean and sort of somewhat steam a stock. If I got this up to like 175 degrees, nice and hot, okay, and then I just laid the stock over the top of this, that steam will help bring out, you know, I can steam dents out. If I wish, okay. I can also use a little bit of, you know, just a soft bristled toothbrush and a little bit of Murphy's oil to clean a heavily soiled stock. And then all of that junk and crap that comes off your stock will just drip right back down into the Sonic, and then you can simply wash it down the sink and clean it out later. So you can do some stock work depending on what you're trying to do with the Sonic. So, and also general cleaning too. A Sonic is nice because if you just have something really nasty you want to try to clean, it will retain all of that crap in this one area. So that is another benefit of a Sonic. So guys, you know, we wanted to just take this video to discuss some of the pros and cons of Ultrasonics. They are expensive. They do represent a bit of a cost, but they are wonderful, and they do have their place depending on the average use. Now, the weekend warrior kind of guy that's just shooting a little bit here and there, would you really need a Sonic? Well, maybe. I mean, you know, Lyman makes some smaller Ultrasonics that are only a few $100s. I know we have a Frankfurt Arsenal unit that we've had forever. We use it for a bit of brass prep and stuff here and there, and to clean small parts. Maybe you have a large Sonic, but you want a smaller Sonic to be able to run like maybe a solvent bath or a different type of oil, maybe a preservative oil in your Ultrasonic. I know there for a while we had one that was full of Strikehold. We would clean our parts in the normal Ultrasonic, and then when we were done, we would give it an Ultrasonic oil bath. And then when the parts came out, you simply blow them off and they're good to go. You re-lubricate some certain points if you need a heavier grease, and you move on with life. So there's a few options for you. Guys, thank you very much for watching today's video. I know this was kind of a lot of information to go over, but I wanted to discuss Ultrasonics because I feel like they're a very important part of being a shooter. I mean, if you shoot a lot, eventually, let's face it, guys, you get tired of cleaning guns after a while, especially manually. It takes up a lot of time. If you're the kind of guy that has a large collection, you love to shoot, but you hate to clean, Ultrasonics can save you a lot of time, and I think the expense is definitely worth it depending on your needs, if it outweighs the cost of cleaning manually versus cleaning with an Ultrasonic. So maybe that gives you a few things to think about. But guys, thank you very much. We appreciate all the support. Definitely a special thanks to all of our Patreon supporters. You guys are wonderful. Thank you very much. All the folks who purchase man cans to support the channel, thank you guys very much for your support. Those of you who purchase t-shirts and merch over on the site, all the funds we earn off of that type of stuff goes right back into producing this content and putting information out. So thank you guys very much for watching today. We hope you enjoyed this video. Maybe you learned something. Is there something I missed? Did I miss something in terms of how an Ultrasonic can be used? Or maybe did I use the wrong fluid? Is there a fluid that you use in your Ultrasonic that you love that I didn't mention? Sound off in the comment section below and let me know what you think. Maybe we can revisit this and go over some of the little bit more Rube Goldberg style of using an Ultrasonic. Now, trust me, I know some of you guys have used an Ultrasonic to clean your car parts and things like that. So Ultrasonics don't have to be used just for firearms. They can be used for any industrial application. Brake rotors, car parts, you can clean your carburetors in them. So there's a wide variety of other uses other than just firearms. Thanks guys, have a great day. We'll see you next time.